was part of a birthday video that I shot for Cody recently, and the rest of it is on this channel right up there. Good afternoon. What's this I hear about folks using iOS and switching to the Samsung S10 series? One of the family members of it, at least. This whole thing is for iOS users. Here's how to make the transition a little less jarring. But first, the black screen. Now then, first step would be eliminating the app drawer to put all your apps on your home screen, just like your old iPhone. And to do that, simply slide down from the top like you would in your old iPhone to open notifications, and then tap on the little gear up in the upper right to go to settings. You should see display pretty quickly, tap on that, and then scroll down until you see home screen. It'll be its own little bubble. Tap that and then you will see home screen layout at the top. Tapping that will bring you to a menu where you have two options. You have home and apps screens or home screen only. Tap home screen only. Again, this will eliminate the extra step you have to take to access all of your apps and then put them all on the launcher just like it was on your iPhone. Next order of business is to change the grid size for your icons, and to do that you will simply go to an empty space and tap and hold, and then everything will zoom out and you'll see four options along the bottom. Tap the home screen settings button and then it will take you to this display once more. Right underneath home screen layout you'll see home screen grid. Tap on that and then on the bottom you'll see four more options. Tap 4x5. This will not only enlarge the icons but will also put them in the same 4 across 5 down that your iPhone had. In your case it might be different, but when I changed my layout the bottom 4 row was empty, so what you can do to fix that is the same way that you would do it on the iPhone. Just tap and hold on an icon and then drag it down to the bottom. As you do this, you'll notice that on some of the apps, particularly the Samsung made ones, when you tap and hold onto an icon to move it, you'll find some shortcuts that pop up and act just like the ones from Force Touch in iOS. I believe you can put up to 5 icons down in the bottom tray, and also you're able to easily move them around and position them in the exact same way that you did on your iPhone. Another little goodie that Samsung gave us is the ability to select multiple apps and then move them all at once. iOS has something similar to this. If you tap and hold on a particular app, you can hit the select button, and then at that point they all have a little checkbox beside them. Scrolling through, you can tap on different icons from different screens and the selection will all remain until you have selected the ones that you wanted, and then tap and hold on any of the ones that you have selected, and then they'll all get sucked up into one little group that you can then move to whichever screen you desire by the same method as we move a single icon from screen to screen. Just move it to the edge and there you go. Move it to the location that you want to drop them in, and then they will all automatically find their own empty spaces, and then there you go. If you are like many and prefer to create folders to put all of your apps in to where they all fit on the first page, that way you don't have to scroll through page after page, you can do it the same way that you did in iOS. Tap and hold on an app icon, then move it over to another one. You see how the border fattens up just a little bit when it gets closer. Dump it in when that border gets fat, and then it will automatically create a folder and automatically go to where you can name it, and there you go. From here you can drag other app icons into this folder, or you can open the folder itself and then select to add apps to it. This will open up a list of all of your apps that you can go and just check, done, and then it'll add all of them to the folder. Something else that I don't believe iOS enables you to do is open up a folder and then select the color that the folder will be. This does not affect the color of the icons, but it affects the spaces between them. You can either pick from a set of 5, or you can open up this color picker right here and pick from a lot more different colors. I am partial to the color teal, so I'm going to pick that. The human eye responds to color a little bit faster than it does to text, or at least mine does. So changing the background the colors of the folders like this will greatly help when you're just flipping through screens trying to find that one folder that has your money apps or your food apps or what have you. Something I will recommend that you do to avoid having to always reach up to the very top to pull down the notifications shade and the quick settings is head to settings, then display, then home screen, And then where you see the quick open notification panel, make sure that switch is checked on, because if it isn't, then as you're at your home screen, and if you just want to pull down to open up your notifications and the quick settings at once, because in Android they're combined, all it will do is open the Finder instead, as will a swipe upwards already. So no need to have a redundant way to get to an aspect of the phone that I know I don't use that much. One of the main complaints of iOS users about Android, even though they haven't used a recent phone, is that Android is not as smooth. So one way to combat that when you get your new S10 is to go into settings and then scroll all the way to the bottom to your newly acquired back button, and then developer options will have appeared right below About Phone. Tap on this and ignore everything you see except the 3 different animation scales. Most of the time when you hear folks talk about this, they go and set it to 0 or everything at 0.5. What I like to do, especially if I want just buttery smoothness, is to go into Transition Animation Scale, tap that, and tap 1.5x. And then the same thing with the Animator Duration Scale. Make that 1.5x as well. If you'll notice, everything just glides along. And if things are a little choppy in the video footage of this phone's screen, it's because the video was filmed at 60 frames per second, and my camera is filming at 24. The next and final thing is more optional than the others, but you might enjoy the aesthetics that it provides. The new Recents views put the apps in side-by-side tiles, and they don't overlap at all. When you go to the recent apps with an iPhone, you get the vertical cards, but they're overlapping each other by quite a bit. And if you want to be as close to the way iOS looks as possible, here's how to do it. Along with Android's Play Store, where you get most of your apps, you will also have the Samsung's Galaxy Store. That is kind of their version of where you can get some apps that are only for Samsung phones and are not available on the Play Store. Go in there and search for Good Lock. It could be 1 word, it could be 2 words. I use 2 words for mine, so that should be fine. There will be an entire video made about what Good Lock can do for your phone, because there are lots and lots of changes that you can make. But what we're after right now is Task Changer. You see the little shopping bag button right at the right of the Task Changer icon? That will take you to the Galaxy Store, where you can download Task Changer. It's an app that's made by Samsung, and it is free. And what it will do is enable you to have those vertical cards that are overlapping during the Recents menu. Once you've downloaded it, that little play button there will launch the app, and then you will see Task Changer there. Just tap Task Changer, that whole bar, anywhere in there except on that little grocery thing, because it'll take you back to the store. Anyways, once it opens, you'll see a thing called Layout Type. Press that, and then hit Stack. And then there you go. You also have the option to blur the background when you trigger this. That's totally up to you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I think it looks pretty good. You close apps the same way here as you do in iOS as well, only with Android, you have a close all button instead of having to go swipe, 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 swipe to close all of your open apps. Along with the upward swiping gesture controls for navigation that the phone allows you to replace the navigation bar with, this set of changes to how the phone functions at its core should make it way easier to transition from iOS to Samsung. But I want to make sure that you are aware, or kind of impart some of my own experience to you. If you or someone that you know is switching from iOS to the Samsung Galaxy S10, in my 5 years in the mobile sales industry, I have discovered that those who do make the switch from iOS to Android, specifically Samsung, they don't last very long, because there's like a week of reacclimation, where they're going from one operating system that they're super familiar with into another one that they're like, oh, I'm curious about it, but da-da-da-da-da. Now, a lot of times when people switch from iOS to Android, they want to switch because they're either bored or they're fed up with Apple or something. But other times, they can be like not coerced, but like coaxed into it by a family member or a friend whose opinion they value, and they try it out and they're like, bleh, after a few days, because they ran into like some small little thing that was completely avoidable, but there was no one there to immediately answer their question about it, so they got more and more frustrated, and then the doubt of, oh, did I do the right thing, is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden they're just like, no, I just went back to iOS, yeah, blah, 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 like they come in, it pissed pissed me off a lot when people who I sold a Samsung phone to came back in and returned it, swapped it out for an iPhone. I'm like, what are you doing? What happened? She's like, I just am not familiar with it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what happened? Like, well, I got frustrated with this, and I'm thinking, I could have prevented this from happening. So, for those who are switching, watching this, there's a plethora of methods with which to get a hold of me if you have questions, because this is the last thing that I want to happen, is that you get curious about it, you try it out, you get frustrated with it because there's like a couple things that you're like, dude, I don't freaking know where it is, or I don't know how to do it, or I don't know why it does this, or I can't make it stop doing this, or blah, 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 blah. The list goes on and on. I want to keep that from happening, so reach out. Video uploads have been very infrequent because I have been in Oklahoma for the past week doing lots and lots of work that has nothing to do with YouTube, unfortunately. But there is a vlog that came from that entire thing, and that is up here. Or it will be, excuse me. At the time of the recording this, it's not, but it will be. Filmed exclusively with the S10, and I'll probably use footage from it in later S10 testing videos. And in the last video, I made a reference with 3 words to a movie that I did not expect very many of you to know the references from. And I said that if you guess it right, I will give you an audible mention in the next video. Well, it's the next video, and 35 of you knew exactly what movie it was. I had no expectation whatsoever of that many of y'all getting it right. But I'm going to keep my promise. The ones who got the face-off reference correct were Matt Vinegar, Rick Williams Architect, Arnold Torres, Anthony Esse, Jose Chabrieza, Maddie87711, David Larson Photo, who is also on Patreon, Seth Kim, Mario Mukaj, Zolani Simlane, me Xavier, River Drive, Jamie Livesay, Jamie E, El Spicy Dragon, Novak Novakovic. That's a nice one. GT Long 91, The Midi Mac, Colin Elkin, Christopher Davis, Red Gamer 821, who is also on the Discord, Adam Warlock, Maurice Nielsen, Stavey 17, Amin Eluati, Fab 6, Truth Hurts, David Mata, Guy Robert Kernesant, Trevor Ford, Arsenio Boca, Chance Roberts, Eric Cheatham, Joseph O'Toole, and It Doesn't Matter. It's a perfect last one. Y'all are all awesome for nailing a movie reference from 3 words. It's coming off. I've noticed a good amount of you asking questions of me in the comments, and the best way to get a hold of me if you have questions is through the other links that are in the description, because the comments, a lot of time, like I'll get them one at a time, and if 2 people post if 2 people post a comment at the same time, I'll only get a notification for one of them, and I don't want to miss anyone. So take advantage of the links that are in the description and other alternative ways to contact me. I'm very easy to get a hold of, especially for the Scotties on Patreon, the ones that pledge $10 or more per month, and those are Yanda Cibro Paracord Design, Joe Schmo, Jared Elder Studios, Romaine Roberts, Derek D, Ian Lewis, Paul A. Donnelly, Teddy the Dove, Mario Torres, Robert Bitter, Jatinder Lal, congratulations on your S10 by the way, Anthony Jackson, Eric Price, Stephen Nichols, Nick Hawks, Sin O, Unit Omega, and Christopher Caswell.
I stay with my Scotties. My Scotties are my boys. I ride with them. And I put that on the generation.
Next are the Super Beamers, the ones that pledge $5 a month, and those are Paradoxed, Grant Stockton, and we have a new one! Welcome, Rob Ralston. Thank you so much for being here. And last but certainly not least, we have the Beamers, the ones that pledge $1 a month, and those are Encrypted Bunny, Vincent Papineau, Spidget, Jamie Ives, Roman Van Rookhuizen, Nicholas Clark, David Larson, Elixir, and Rico the 13th. Keep switching and encouraging others to switch, and stay beaming. Stuart Glover, and I said that the person who guessed it right, next there are these Super Beamers, the ones that pledge $5 or more per. Next there are the Super Beamers, the ones that pay. And last but certainly not,